All right, you hooligans. Let's meet the unfamiliar faces in the room. Amy, I guess you're first.
Oh, I don't know how this works.
Well, just your name should be yours. This is Amy Uyeki. She's going to be our speaker today. So I'll introduce her a little more further a little bit later on.
Karen.
Karen Diemer, City Manager, is here for your quick 5-minute city update today.
Good morning, I'm Amy Uyeki, President of Rotary Club of Eureka and Hilla's host parent. And I will do a shameless plug for our 100-year Centennial Gala coming up October 14th, 2023. Not too early to mark your calendars. It'll be a district-wide event and yeah, quite the spectacle, I hope.
All right, Mason's here. Welcome. We got some interactors. All right.
Okay, great. Sorry. Hey everybody, I'm Mason Blair, I'm the Membership Officer at Interact Club. So we've been doing some community service engagement recently. Just yesterday afternoon, we painted the bathrooms at school. So my group was simply painted over some graffiti that's been happening in the guys' restrooms. And another group painted some inspiring clothes and the boards on the mural. Charlie, it was a good time. As well, something that I've been leading personally is plant goals. We can go out to local basic plant station schools out in the Manila Dunes and the forests and beach out at Trinidad. And doing European beach grass, ice plant, and English ivy. So it's been a really good time. We get some really good groups out there from the it's awesome. So, yeah. And I don't think you're always here, but she and Kyla, two of the officers are leading the codes to the court, and we're going to get some codes to the courts. So yeah.
Where are you collecting them?
At the school.
At school.
All kinds of spots at the school, yeah. I think this one helps school too. But yeah, I know for sure there's all kinds of bins around the school. So super good. Yes, I can see that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no problem.
So we had November was busy for a lot of people. We had a few birthdays, one anniversary. Anybody want to share about what they did? I saw Dallas, Stephanie.
I stayed in my pajamas until 7 p.m. and watched rom-coms on the couch. It was an excellent, restful week. I know. I hadn't even go out to dinner.
Anybody else want to share?
I turned 50. Very proud. I worked hard at it. I worked 49 years on that. So I just did lots of little things because the idea of doing a big party overwhelmed me. So I got to have lots of dinners with friends and family, and it was lovely. Glad to be 50. Right? That's about time.
Did I miss anybody? I don't think I did. Okay. First of all, this is adorable. Second, thank you.
One of many dresses like that.
To everybody that showed up for Taste of the Holidays. We worked so hard. We may have numbers? No.
Yeah.
We do.
A net of 24,000.
Congratulations, guys. So thank you for all your hard work and everybody. Oh, right. Yeah. This was cute. If anybody wants to talk about it. Do you want to share your experience?
Yeah, we were helping out with lasso, helping out in the door. Some of you may have seen me giving a classes and stuff. It was really cool. I like having community service warms my heart, and I had so much fun with all the exchange students. There was also Itsuki and Laura. And oh, this is my calendar. Yeah.
While you're standing, let's talk about it.
Yeah, so thank you for inviting me here today. I'm doing a fundraiser for my exchange here to be able to go to these trips that we have in Hawaii and in New York and Western Safari. There's so much to do, but I do art on my free time. I've done art ever since I was little, and this is the calendars that I have. I do these creatures. They are all like inspired from the months that like I'm doing like Christmas. There's like tangled lights and a Christmas tree and a little gnome. And each of them is hand painted by me. I've spent over 60 hours on it. And they're like watercolors and pencils. I just really, really love art. And so if you'd like to support my exchange here, they are $20 each. They are good for Christmas gifts, and you can give some to your friends or family if you'd like to support me. I'd be really grateful for that, and I'm grateful to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming.
I'm really proud of this calendar. It turned out great. So if you'd like to give your
I
friends
tried
a
to
gift,
attach it to the DACTV email, but I guess it didn't come out. But the creatures are fantastic, and they're like completely unique. It's very, like, it's super cool. Every month has a different one.
yeah, there's like, when it's March, it rains in Humboldt, so it has a little umbrella, it rains. And then when the sun comes back in Finland after harvest time, after the sun goes down for all the winter. And this is when it's spring and everything is blooming. It's like a little flower, and everything is green. And it's like summertime, so there's like a lot of flowers. Like each of
Do you
them.
have a Venmo? Or
I'm working on it.
okay.
It's a work in progress, but right now I'm accepting cash and checks.
All right.
Do you want to pass a couple of samples around
Yeah.
during the meeting?
Yeah, I could pass a couple around.
Check is okay.
Yeah,
Great.
whatever works for you, but I'm working on a Venmo.
I have a checkbook.
Write it down. Go team.
Thank you.
I couldn't pick which one was my favorite, so I put all of them up.
Yeah, we just spent some time, it's been a weekend, Steve's new stomping grounds, we went to Cabo, and we had a great time for my son. There's a lot happened. My son turned 1, my sister got engaged, we just generally had a really, really good time. My wife, a lot of people like to go to Mexico or a foreign country and really go experience life with the locals. My wife doesn't. She likes to sit in the all-inclusive resorts, so that's what we did, and we had a good time. Still had a lot of fun, so yeah. That's Rico, he's 1.
What's his middle name? Gregorio?
Gregorio, my grandfather's name.
And little Rachel's daughter just had her 1 month anniversary, but she's, or 1 month of birth. I don't know. Anyway, but she's not here, so we'll see. And then Howard.
Taste the holidays.
Oh, John, you had a birthday? Happy birthday. No, Howard, go ahead. Howard, go ahead.
Okay, as most of you know, we're funding the purchase of furniture and kitchen equipment for the new kitchen and dining room facility that they're building at Cambodia Academy this year. And they're sending us regular reports about what's going on at the Academy, and the latest one was about their high graduation rates and also the success of their graduates. That now quite a few of the students are going on to high school after the primary school, which goes, I think, through 9th grade at this point. And furthermore, some of their early graduates have gone on to college and become teachers, which is quite amazing for that part of Cambodia. I'll give you a little bit of testimony here. I was over in Southeast Asia some years ago, once we had started to provide some funding help for the academy. And I decided to visit the school, and which is about 2 hours on a dirt road at that time from Angkor Wat, where Angkor Wat is located in Cambodia. And they knew I was coming. And when I arrived, they had the students in 2 lines forming a corridor, and they instructed me to walk down the corridor. And as I walked down the corridor, the students started applauding. And I must tell you, that was a transformative experience for me. They were so appreciative of our helping them out. These children are all from families that couldn't afford even a primary school education in Cambodia at that time. So they were very serious students. The principal told me he apologized to me because one of the students couldn't make it. You know, there were several hundred students in those 2 lines. And he apologized that one of the students was severely ill and couldn't make it. So these students take their educational opportunity very seriously. This is a way for their family to rise financially to the middle class in Cambodia. So thank you all for continuing to fund this really good project.
This is what your fundraising efforts do. It's so exciting to see the fruits of your labor internationally even. So it was Thanksgiving, and I found this really sweet picture from Charlie, and I'm stoked she's here. Do you want to share a little bit about?
Yeah, we went to Lookout, California, which is the middle of nowhere really, and a bunch of farms, and we actually, that's my niece, Avery, she's 10 years old, we went treasure hunting, and so she found all kinds of stuff like the wood shops, and she found like old army boxes, and she's like, I need this box, it's all rusty and falling apart, being stupid, her dad's like, we're not taking that home. We made like snow angels, and I just had like the best time with my niece. She's like, it's heads out right. She like dipped her head in the snow, and I was like, that's one way to do it. Awesome. Yeah, so yeah, it was a really great time. My family. That was not my group.
No, this was Greg, and it just was so impressive I had to share it. You barbecued it? I don't know.
Yeah,
I was hoping he would be here to brag about it, but Pat and I went mushroom hunting, and then you get to share about it.
Oh, thank you, Mark. On the spot. So, I don't share this location with everybody, but it's relatively close to freshwater. And we did a beautiful trip to forage for chanterelles, and we did really well. And this was
Well, some of us did. I had a nice walk in the woods.
Amanda and Gimme, Amanda's wife,
Ashley.
thank you, and Amanda's parents who came from Idaho to come out, and we just did a walk in the woods and forage for mushrooms. We did pretty well. And Dolo, of course, is there, and Jack.
And Jack.
Yeah, Jack. Yeah. So nice. Sorry, I didn't know I was gonna have to speak.
Okay, so good news first, bad news. Yeah, she's still testing positive for COVID, has pneumonia. She was in a terrible car accident the evening of Thanksgiving. Corey Lewis is organizing any help that you can give her. She needs meals delivered. I dropped off some cozy clothes yesterday, cozy socks, so she could, anyway, so she could comfortably go to the doctor's visits, but she's on IV antibiotics. She has broken ribs, broken broken vertebrae, bruised kidneys. This is going to be a long, long recovery for her. On her Facebook is a GoFundMe for medical expenses that have significantly increased because she went down to San Francisco to get some more care taken care of. But anyway, please don't call her. It hurts to talk. She has like a severe tongue laceration. So call Corey and he will tell you what she needs and how to get it to her.
Vanessa, I Venmo'd her, and Marty and I Venmo'd her some money too.
Great.
Her
There's-
address is
yeah.
on there, so that was, I could do it
Perfect.
easy, faster than the PayPal, so.
And like that goes better than GoFundMe because they take a little bit. Oh, this was another Cambodia Academy picture. All right, Karen, you're up.
Thank you. Can I get through? Can I talk from here? Hey, good morning. Good morning. You guys are coming back strong, the Sunrise Rotary, making rounds to all of them. How many do you have online this morning?
It looks like only 2,
Oh, good.
but they couldn't hear for a long time. So I think they can hear now. Nod, Claire, if you can hear. You gave me a thumbs up.
Okay, we want to save lots of time for Amy. So just want to fill you in on a few things happening. I haven't been here since the election. So we had an election in November. I do suspect we'll maybe get final numbers today, actually, but we only had about 1,000 ballots countywide still to vote, so I don't think things will be changing. So for those of you that supported our utility users tax, thank you. That's a tax on all of our utilities that has been in place for about 26 years now. And we didn't ask for an increase, we just wanted to keep it status quo, but it really does fund very, very core services and streets and police and parks and rec. So thank you for your support of that. We will be swearing in the 2 council members, which appear to be Kimberly White and Meredith Matthews. So we'll be swearing those 2 4-year terms in on Thursday, December 15th, so in a couple of weeks. And then it does appear as though the flag measure is passing by about 130 votes right now. So the ballot initiative was for Arcata to fly the Earth flag on top. There is some incongruency that the council will need to wrestle with, and it's okay to laugh. I think this is a safe space. I tell all of my staff that, this is the little stuff. So we, in so many ways. And I know it's symbolic for some in a real positive way, symbolic in others in a very insulting way. And I think we saw that in the vote. It was very, very divided. At 100, maybe 130 split, that's not a mandate for the council. That's going to be a hard question to wrestle with. There is incongruency with state law, and we have already received a couple of calls of individuals who I think will legally challenge it in Superior Court, which we would not be surprised by. So the council will have those decisions to make. Come after the swearing in, they will have a conversation about that evening. Their choices will be, and that's a hard one, right? Do you follow the will of the voters? Because at this point it does look like that initiative is passed. Do you preemptively ask the courts to render a decision? So courts will not render a decision on the legality of any ballot initiative, local or state, until after a vote is cast, right? So you can't go to the courts ahead of time, even though our attorney's impartial analysis says this is, incongruent with state law. The courts won't render a decision until after an election. So the council could preemptively go to the courts and ask for a ruling on that, or you wait until somebody decides to file a petition with the court to garner a ruling, which I think we'll probably get even before maybe the council has a chance to preemptively ask. So Dave Meserve, I'll say to his credit, has agreed if somebody does go to the court and petition for reversal, he has agreed to either raise funds or to find attorneys so that wouldn't be a cost borne by the city. And he's also agreed to pay for any flags and changes to the poles that we would need to make that happen. So, but that could be something that you see the council's going to have to decide in the interim. I mean, I assume we'll have a court decision one way or another, but in that interim period, how do those flags fly? So you might see a change after the 16th, was what I would say on that. Other things happening.
More importantly, has the national news media called yet?
Not yet. I mean, I am so surprised.
And I subscribe to a lot of statewide kind of, local election newsy little things, and nobody picked this up, which really surprised me. Really other obscure things. It won't be long.
Fox News will pick it up.
No. So also, since I've seen you, community ambassadors are up and running. Thank you, Luke, for that. But they are around town. Please stop and talk with them and visit. They're doing great work, and they're getting great insights, I think, into what's happening out and around in the downtown area. So it'll be great to have them through the holiday season as we work with businesses to try to keep sales really high moving into 2023. We also did finalize our award for phase 1 of the wastewater treatment plant. So that is awarded at $52 million to Wallen Construction. They have moved trailers on site. They are starting to break ground. And the most exciting, well, lots of exciting pieces. The most exciting piece for our staff is all of the really aging infrastructure that they've been bailiwicking together for the last 20 years is going to be replaced. The most exciting piece, I think, for the community is to see us go from chemical disinfection of our wastewater to UV disinfection, and to be removing that chemical from ultimately making its way into Humboldt Bay. So that's a long, long-term goal for this community from an environmental standpoint to move to UV disinfection. So absolutely wonderful to see that underway. Are there any questions of things that you wanted me to touch on?
I see a lot of work up in Yorktown at the Fairwinds Hotel, there's fences going up.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be like a low-income thing, or is it going back to being a hotel again?
My understanding right now, so this could change tomorrow, it was purchased by a combination of 3 local individuals that purchased the building together. Their desire is to keep it in short stay rental through Vicasa, so kind of like a little, Airbnb but hotel.
Okay.
And so they're trying to prep it for there. Now I know Cal Poly Humboldt is still desperate for housing, so at some point I would not be surprised if we don't see that convert, to something that supports Cal Poly because it's right there. So, but right now they're holding to try to get it back open as a hotel, which would be also great in that area. I think you're seeing a combination. They are doing fencing, and then I also think Caltrans is doing a little bit of fencing, and I assume that they've helped facilitate that, which will be great up in that whole area by the fence.
The fencing's pretty robust, and it goes over.
Exactly, yeah, so that would all be in Caltrans right away, so I think they're working with Caltrans to do some additional fencing, so that will be good. We did meet with the university this last week, and right now, application numbers are real high coming into next year. But everybody asks me, are you going to be able to handle the growth? And I really keep trying to spread the word that the growth of Cal Poly is going to be slow and nothing that we need to panic over. Stephanie says it's going to be a little faster.
No, I appreciate your understanding of that.
So, just this week I got a call from the Times Standard. I don't know what he'll write, but, the first question is the wastewater treatment plant holding with all the new students? Cal Poly has 119 new students this fall over last fall. Some of those are housed in the Comfort Inn, which removes those people that would have been in that hotel. There is no impact to our wastewater treatment plant. I am hopeful that we will have maybe 300 new students next fall. That still leaves Cal Poly 2,500 students less than their high in just 2015-16 fiscal year. It's going to be a little more than that, just saying. Okay, I hope so. I'll go higher. My prediction, I'll go 350 is my prediction.
We have 350, do we have 400?
We saw Wednesday that they're patching M Street. They were putting cold patching,
Yeah.
because I asked about it a couple months ago, and
Yes.
it's very nice.
It's just a patch. I mean, we are going to try to, but it is making its way on the list for more rehab.
Small children bandages.
Yes, there are some big potholes there. All right, other questions? Okay. Back to you, Vanessa. Okay, I'll be here if you have questions.
Great. It's my pleasure to introduce Amy Uyeki, who's a dear friend, talented artist, animator, and also very active in HAPI, and help me out, Humboldt, Asians, and Pacific Islanders?
In solidarity.
In solidarity. And I'll let Amy share more about HAPI, and also her alter ego. You can share a little bit about that. Welcome, Amy.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope you can all all hear me? If you can't, just give me a signal. I'm not used to talking at this time of day, and I'm really impressed with all of you, not only for all the incredible work that you do, but for this Friday morning, 7 a.m. thing when you are managing to have smiles on your faces and talk coherently. So I really applaud you all. And I'm here to talk about Humboldt Asians and Pacific Islanders in solidarity. And we can go to the next one. That was just a little fun thing. I want to explain the origins of HAPI and also what we've been doing in the last 2 years and what we're looking at for the future. So many of you haven't heard of us because we're really small, but we're trying to make an impact in the community. And we started actually in 2019, and I'll go back before that. In 2012, I made a documentary with Key TV, and it was a PBS documentary called Big Bands, Searchlight Serenade, Big Bands in the World War II Japanese American incarceration camps. And this subject is very personal to me. Both my parents and their families were incarcerated during the war. My mom for 1.5 years and my dad for 3.5 years. And they were teenagers, and it was really hard. They couldn't understand. They were also American, and they couldn't understand why they were behind barbed wire. And one solace, one ray of sunshine that was brought into teenagers' lives was big band music, swing music, because that was their music. And so it gave them a connection to the outside as well. And there were over 20 bands that were created in the camps. And we got to interview 14 musicians, and it was a wonderful experience. So in 2012 and 13, we did some screenings up and down the coast. We stopped in San Jose, and in the Japantown there, we did a screening, and there was a big band performance. And then a couple years later, through that connection, this handsome young man, Franco Imperial, contacted me. He is the artistic director for San Jose Taiko. And they were wanting to put on a production using taiko drums to tell the story of big bands in the camps. And there were not taiko drums in the camps. You wonder how taiko drums can be a character, but if you were there at the performance, you could easily see it. It was electrifying. So I shared what I knew about the musicians, and he was able to contact some of the musicians who were still alive. Most of them have passed, unfortunately, since 2012. And the next year, they put on a performance in San Jose, and the following year, 2018, my husband Reese and I were able to go and see the performance. As you can see, it was outside. It was amazingly exciting, and what it is an immersive performance where the audience is part of the whole. You are living history, so you really feel like you're part of the set or whatever. It's very experiential. So after the performance, I asked Franco if he would come up and if he ever did a traveling show, if they would bring it up to Humboldt County. And he said, well, sure. Do you have an Asian American community there? I said, sure. And then, well, I tried to find that Asian American community. And as you can see from the audience, there aren't that many of us in Humboldt County, but we do have a presence. I've lived here 35 years, and I contacted every Asian American I knew that I could reach. About half of those showed up. That's like about 25, 30. We had our first meeting at the Creamery, and what I found was there was so much interest in creating some kind of community. people wanted to celebrate the different cultures that falls underneath the Pan-Asian label. They also wanted to celebrate the differences in the diversity, and they wanted to support each other. They wanted to come in solidarity with other BIPOC groups, and also with first and second generation immigrants that are much more marginalized, and it's difficult for them to have a voice. So we are all excited. We also want to break bread, or as I say, eat rice, which is more common. So this is a group that was formed from the original larger group that we called Taiko Swing Humboldt. And this smaller group that my sister Terry is a part of, Patty Saito Hecht, Vicky Ozaki, Alex Ozaki McNeil, our millennial, token millennial, Marilyn Pike Nicely. This is a group of really dynamic women, and they all filled a certain niche. Oh, I didn't include Aliong Lee and Pat Gerzik. So that was Team Taiko that soon became Team HAPI when we went on beyond what we did in Swingposium. So I thought I'd give you a taste of what Swingposium was about if you didn't know. Cal Poly Humboldt's Jazz Orchestra. So that was amazingly fun. We had a lot of community members participate, teenagers and college students, and I don't know if you know Tony Leong. He's at Safeway and also insurance, but he was amazing. He was our choreographer, and he was a great actor. We soon learned. So there were a lot of offshoots from that project that happened actually in 2019. One was Vicki had this brilliant idea of doing a pop-up museum that had artifacts from the families who were incarcerated during the war. So we gathered all these items and we did a one-week museum at Cal Poly Library, and we called it Pieces of Our Lives. It appeared, this is still Cal Poly, but we also had it at the Clark Museum in March of 2020 when everyone was shut down in COVID, so you probably didn't see it. And through the Humboldt Area Foundation, we were able to create 10 banners that talk about the incarceration, and these are available for schools and libraries. So they're permanent banners, and we can also come and explain more. And sometimes, in the past, my parents were able to talk about the experience, but we would have people whose parents have been incarcerated come talk about their families' experiences in camps. So if you know any high schools that would be interested in seeing these are available. Another offshoot of that original meeting is Humboldt, Taiko Humboldt, or Humboldt Taiko, and Gary Roney, who's a CR employee, came to that first meeting, and he said, I want to start a Taiko group here in Humboldt County. And so Humboldt Taiko was born, and their first performance was at Rockin' Ramen in 2019. Since then, you might have seen them around town at various events. This is at Obon Humboldt, and this is at the Lunar New Year celebration in downtown Eureka. fun. So we also did things in solidarity with other groups. There was actually a nationwide rally and protest of the camps down at the border and the separation of families. And so we joined with Centro del Pueblo and NAACP in staging a protest in Fortuna. And then in December of 2019, we had ebb and flow at the Arcata Playhouse. Brenda Perez and Centro del Pueblo asked us to join in, and we had stories of Latinx and Asian immigration to Humboldt, including, as you probably are very familiar, the expulsion of the Chinese in the late 19th century and subsequent banishment of Asian Americans until the 1950s. As a result of a lot of misplaced anger and racism, there was a horrible shooting massacre in March of 2021 of 8 people, 6 of whom were Asian American women, and we felt in our small Asian American community and beyond that people were so dismayed about this they didn't know what to do. So we held a peace vigil with the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, and we did a peaceful vigil. And it was a walking meditation. If you've ever been on the grounds, there's a wonderful path, and we had testimony to all the 6 women who had passed, and drumming, and we were able to raise $3,000 that went to the families of the victims. And then some of you were able to experience this. This is something that happened in Arcata, and Obon is something that is near and dear to many Japanese American in the United States, but also Japanese around the world, because it's a traditional summer festival that to honor our ancestors, and so there's a tie-in to Buddhist tradition, but it's also a wonderful bringing together of people, and lots of dance, lots of song, and when we all got together, this is one of the things that people wanted to do. Let's put on our own obon. But what happened was COVID, and we didn't think that this could happen. So when things started to die down, we thought, well, let's get together and do this. So Marilyn Pike Nicely was the coordinator on this week. We started in April or something like that. It was really pretty late. And this is Rinban Sakamoto. He is the priest from San Jose Betzwin. When I contacted him about having someone come here, I think it was like 2 months before the event, and he said, "When is this event? Is this next year?" And I thought, well, I don't know if he just felt sorry for us, and he was also he contacted what I learned was the higher up, the Bishop Harada from the whole, Buddhist churches of America, thinking that we wanted a Buddhist church here, which we probably do, but the population probably doesn't. There is a Zen group. I don't want to say that we don't have a group, but official Buddhist church. And then we talked further, and he realized, oh, okay, I see what kind of community you are. You are one that may embrace the whole ideas of Buddhism and sharing of cultures and sharing of this wonderful tradition, but maybe not full force Buddhist church here. So he agreed to come, and he really talked about not only honoring our ancestors, but those who came on the land before us, and that fit in so well to I think, what we are here. So it was a wonderful ceremony. We were so surprised. We didn't know how many people would come. And we thought maybe 200, 300. It was 800 at least. There were lots of people and lots of dancing. As you can see Totoro Cave, if you know Totoro. Yes, and that's Craig Kurumada, who is a wonderful dancer, and he led us in dancing. And as you can see, there people just came in kimono, and it's one of those things that a lot of people were saying, I don't want to culturally appropriate. There's none of that. If you have a HAPI coat, if you have a kimono, if you really want to dance, if you don't know how, just follow the moves. We want you there, and we want you in celebration. So here you can see some more dancers. There's Totoro. There's Franco came for this and also performed. And we had kids events, which we'll probably add more. This was a remembrance tree where everyone wrote something about someone they'd lost, and that was added. So another part of HAPI, though people are saying, how are these related? Eureka Chinatown Project, this was started by Brie Merja de Souza, who lives in Eureka. She wanted to have a plaque that commemorated the former Chinatown that was there. And so we all got together. She was a really driving force. There are now Chinatown tours. There is a mural that not only commemorates the Chinatown that was there, but celebrates the first person to return, first Chinese person to return was Ben Chen. And this has been a wonderful movement that's embraced by our community. There are wayfaring signs that tell the story about Chinatown. There was a Lunar Year celebration that was held in May, which doesn't exactly the beginning of Lunar New Year, but it's Humboldt County, so there's a little allowance. And also the weather's warmer, right? So there was a naming of the alley, Charlie Noon Way, and tours for everyone. This is our most recent project. We've been working on it for a year and a half, and we're going to just start fundraising for it. And this is a monument that will tell the story of the Chinese coming to this area and the expulsion, and then what happened afterwards in a bunch of markers. And hopefully it will be able to tell this story. Daryl Chin is a poet, and his poem's going to appear on there. There's our group. We found a site at First and E, and with the city of Eureka, who we are working with. So we've got a lot of interest, and we want to start fundraising for this. So here are our upcoming projects. Karen knows about this because she was there at this first meeting with Stacy Atkins Salazar, who I believe her grandfather was aware of the Chinatowns that are here in Arcata. There were 2 of them. And we're just finding out more information about them. I'm not going to say where they are because I don't want to, I don't know how much I'm supposed to share, but there's a lot of interest in exploring what happened, because the expulsion did happen a year later, and it's what is in all the history books as they did it the Eureka method, which is supposedly they, sort of chase everybody out of town without violence, but threat of violence and, a gallows there, that I don't know if that is a nonviolent way of expulsion. I don't think there's any nonviolent way of expulsion, but that is in Arcata's history as well. So that's going to be explored. Karen.
Amy, thanks for bringing this up. And if anybody does, we are really in an exploratory phase. So if any of you, some of you have been here or know people that have been here a very, very long time, if you could start asking relatives, seniors, elders in your community that might know of history, of Chinese influence here in Arcata or Asian influence here in Arcata, now is the time. And just
feel free to reach out to me or to Amy or to Stacy.
Yeah, that would be wonderful, and that's, you know, there are some old timers here that, and I was really surprised that Stacy, I think her grandfather has passed, but she remembers him telling stories, so we'd really like to know, because there isn't much information about Arcata at all. So, as I mentioned, the fundraising that we're doing, possible Asian American Film Night. My daughter has a film. That's one of the reasons why it's up there. That she just got, but it's about it's called Many Moons, and it's about the people who were still here, the Chinese people who were still here, and it turns out it wasn't just Charlie Moon who was the only Chinaman who was here. There were others as well. The Asian Lunar Festival that will again take place in May, and also Humboldt, which will be in August. So those are some of the things coming up. Here's if you want to contact us, and also we have some. I think if you're interested, I've got I have these little things where you can. If you want to fill these out, if you want more information, you can fill them out, give them back to me, and then you can keep this little thing here, which will great.
Okay, thanks, Amy.
Thank you very much. Any questions? All right. Thank you. I know Shoshana had a couple of announcements.
I put them on your tables, but there's a holiday open house we're hoping to spark up all around Arcata on Saturday, on the 3rd, 3 to 5, where hopefully people are out and about doing wonderful things all over, and that also includes Santa's parade across town. I have an idea of bringing this little Santa parade with a vintage fire truck, or maybe a real fire truck if it's raining, from Valley East Boulevard, going through Valley West Shopping Center, Westwood, over to Sunnybrae, Uniontown, and the Plaza. So hopefully if it's not raining too hard, we'll have fun things in the middle for kids and activities. Hotel Arcata will offer some hot chocolate. So we're hoping this might be small this year, but we've done this the last 2 years as a not gathering thing, and we're hoping this year maybe some more people join in, and then it could be a gathering fun event in the following years, maybe like homecoming parade where people decorate their cars and wave at Santa and hop on the parade as it comes downtown. So it's a fun idea that's kind of sparking a little bit, but if you're interested, yay! And there's some holiday art markets that are happening, if not raining out here, if raining in the Arcata Theater Lounge, and a little flyer that has all the information if you get out a magnifying glass for all these different wonderful things going on all around town. It also has the dates that Santa will be downstairs at the tree. Really tiny writing, sorry. But there's just a lot of little things happening downtown and all around Arts Arcadas next weekend. But lots of stuff, Season of Wonder and Light. Thanks for helping celebrate. If you know somewhere that one of these lovely things could go, you're welcome to take all you want. I've got extras up here. Thank you.
All right, deep breath. I have a request. I reached out to Susan from Health Sport about arranging a membership for our Arcata Noon's exchange student wants to go to Health Sport. So if she hasn't called me back, but if I was hoping Hannah was here, but she's not. So in this universe, if you could help me arrange a health club membership just for a brief time for an exchange student, let me know. I'll call her again, or you call her if everybody calls her.
Should we get our phones out, call her right now?
I mean, that's worked in the past. And then just personally for me, the Griffin is closing on the 21st. Happily closing.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm going to do next, but come party it up. Use all your gift certificates. Thank you for all of your support.
But happily, if it's good for you.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, sorry, Ian. Oh my God, there are too many things.
Hold on.
Drawing.
There's raffle, but right after the meeting, if I can get some folks over in the pit, we've got backpacks for kids. It's still on my card thanks to a delay caused by gross cat things.
All right, sorry, Brandy has.
No, I was just saying.
Oh, raffle. Oh, and Holly. I'm sorry, Angela.
I wanted to did I miss the, I was just a few minutes late, fellowship
information?
Oh,
Or you just go over it?
No.
Okay, so next Friday, the 9th, we have arranged to have a fellowship, like our Christmas gathering, at the Jewel Distillery. And I think AJ has sent around this sign-up thing a few times, but they're really trying to prepare for us and make sure that they are properly staffed and have, you know, enough heaters and, you know, can we be inside or do we need more? So it's going to be from 6 to 9, and we're Jessica and I are going to make soup. And if you'd like to bring a dessert or a salad, that would be great. But we need to know by the end of today if they're going to be there, because we're just trying to make sure that they are prepared for us. And it's a really big space, and we're going to have heaters and probably get a little tour of the distillery. And please respond to the email. Thank you.
Next Friday, 6 to 9.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the next day, Saturday morning, the 10th of December, 3 to 5, will be a vigil for Justice for Josiah. The Lawson family is coming, so the DJ's siblings, Anthony and Chloe, will come along with their mom, Charmaine Lawson. And this is a time when they don't just say, please come and support a vigil. We actually are putting together over 150 bags of stuff to give to people homeless and people in need. And I'm still collecting. I was laying awake saying those bags don't look very full to me. So please, if you've got anything, food items, whatever, we would love to put them in. But it's going to be 3 to 5 on the plaza, and what I would really, really love is if when the Lawson family travels 16 hours to get here to give things out to help people in our community, because that's what DJ would be doing, I would love that our community was standing there saying thank you. And we're standing with you and we support you. So if at 3 o'clock on December 10, Saturday, December 10, y'all could be on the plaza, it would be wonderful for them to see your smiling faces and the love given back in return to the love that they give this community. And now okay, I do. All right, I got glasses. The first one is 820901. Thank you. All right, Liz.
It's actually from Ollie, but.
Oh, I didn't get money. I have to give you. I owe you $5. Congratulations. The other one is 820937. 937.
That happened to John. You can tell.
Oh, and I never grabbed those folks. All right, and I owe you $5 as well. I will be right back. Thank you. All right.
All right, anything else?
I want to say something. Just in your inboxes should be a message from, I don't remember who it's from, but folks are trying to get the Rotary International Convention to the Bay Area. Please, it's a simple survey that you can take. It doesn't take very long. Please take it, and let's see if we can get International Convention in our backyard.
Dick, thanks for the reminder. I'll put my area governor hat on for that. So Jennifer gave me a clue into how that really happens, like how we get it here. Well, the area. We're a Bay Area, so it could be here. If when you follow that link for the survey, you put in that you're willing to be a greeter, volunteer, or participate in any way, that really helps. They're looking for a place where they can come set up in short order and also have people there ready to go and help. So it's a great way. Terry's been to many, many international conventions and can speak to the organizational chaos that would go behind that, and we could be part of that. So it'd be really cool to have her right here in California.
All right, try it again.
All right.